Hi guys,
Hi guys.
Hi, people of the nets.
welcome to our first episode.
Welcome to QUBD. This is
so many times.
but
Oh,
we can each go through why we want to do this.
we're cubed. Get it? Hi guys, welcome to our first episode of QUBD. Stop laughing at me! I don't know what to say.
just
We said that so many times already. We can't just. Okay. So, how are you guys doing?
Have we done the intro yet?
no.
All right.
Okay. So how are we starting, guys?
You know what? I think let's talk about how we met because there's a long story to that.
Yeah.
So and Sarah is quite new to our friend group, so. Sarah, you're gonna have to lead it with questions, or we can just tell you.
Okay, so how did you guys meet? How? Where? When? Who?
Oh,
Where were you
We're
born?
not very good at podcasts. That's what I'm figured out. We can't talk to each other normally when there's a camera pointing at us.
My name is Benedict.
Benedict Chan.
Benedict
Chan.
Wei Chong Chan, to be specific.
And we are here for our first episode, and we decided to start a podcast because we yap a lot about random things.
And you know
So
what?
we decided to record it all.
It's time to yap on the internet, really. Isn't
Yeah.
it? Since we yap so much anyway, we might as well. I think we should really talk about how we met because you have no idea, and there's a long story. A lot of alcohol involved. A lot of alcohol involved. What happened to you? How did you end up at UCL?
How did
'Cause
I end up at
I don't
UCL?
actually, you know what? I don't actually know your background that
Oh.
much. Surprisingly, I just know that there's so many people I know from the same school as you.
Well, I'm from South London, if you can't tell from my accent. Went to SGS, Sutton Grammar School, and I was a massive maths and computer science nerd.
That we do know. that we do
You
know.
can't already tell. Well,
Beep boop, beep boop.
yeah, I mean, I did a lot of most of my Saturdays, most of my weekends is going to maths lectures in the weekends. So yeah, and I mean, as you do in this country, you just apply to university. Applied to Cambridge, got rejected. Applied to Imperial, applied to UCL. I actually got into Imperial, but I actually turned them down.
Fucking good choice, by the way.
Yeah.
Incredible choice.
I went to the interview day and I was like, I was asking one of the students there, I was like, oh yeah, like, how much free time do you have? Like, what's life like at UCL? Like, UCL, sorry, Imperial. What's life like? You're just like, yeah, you got a lot of free time. Most days you're in 9 to 5. Fucking
That's
hell.
just a job.
That's just a job.
That's just a job.
And then you get Wednesdays, you get the morning off. No, you get the afternoon off or sports night. But yeah, I found it. I was like, fuck it.
Imagine paying to have a job.
Yeah.
That's absolutely mental.
Yeah, but also like coming straight out of school, you don't want to do 9 to 5.
Coming out of school, you know, I don't want to be doing more school. I just want to.
I don't want to do
I just
more
want to go out
school.
and get absolutely plastered.
No, but you know what it is? You're ready to study, but you're also just like, I want to go out and get plastered. Plastered. That is British core at its finest.
I mean, the first time of university, you go out pretty much every night, and you go to every 9 a.m. I went to every one of my 9 a.m. for the first time. Made it to
first
every
term.
single one.
Every single one.
Every single one.
that could not be me.
That was not good for my sleep.
You know what mine was like? I would just like and this is all throughout uni. At the start of every year, I would literally just be like, this year is the one.
That's same as me.
This semester's the one. Turn up every 9 a.m, not a miss. And then the course is just hard. So you start slipping. And once you start slipping, you're like, well, there's no point going
You
to
just
the
give
lecture.
up.
Because I don't know what the last lecture was about because I was slipping in the last lecture.
Yeah.
And then and then you just do a catch up.
And when you have to
week
do
or
all the
matter.
reading before the lecture, and you don't do your reading, and then you have no idea what's going on in the lecture, and then you have to go to your seminars, and you have no idea what's going on in your seminars.
Mine
either.
wasn't even reading. Mine was just like, do this extremely difficult tutorial sheet of maths for next week. While you had, by the way, 6 modules, so 6 other like tutorial sheets.
Oh yeah.
To do. That was extremely long.
Yeah. We haven't even got to meeting you. Went to UCL, stayed in Max Rain, which is the most ratty accommodation possible in Camden.
Yeah.
That's where I met Scott.
That's a good. You know what, Max Rain is. I didn't even go UCL. It's close to my heart, that place. And that's where he met
Does
Scott.
it still exist?
Yeah.
No, I think didn't they like refurb
They
it
refurbished
completely?
it during COVID. In COVID, it was closed.
Before it was an absolute shithole.
It was
When
disgusting.
you were there,
Yeah.
disgusting.
Rats, cockroaches.
Yeah.
Every
Ugh.
single halls, every single flat had at least one incident of rats and cockroaches.
And one
except
of
my
them-
flat. My hall was the only
And one of them was Patrik.
One of them was Patrik.
He didn't even know me yet. He was the rat. He was a little rat in there. That's why you met Scott.
That's when I met Scott.
Now who is
Bowl cut Scott, by the way. When I first met Scott,
Bowl cut
he had
Scott.
a bowl cut. Oh, I remember one of the first weeks that I went out. There's a prime picture of me and Scott. Basically, both of us with bowl cuts.
Well, wait a minute. Isn't that a slight amount? Didn't you at the start of uni you were telling me that you were like trying to be like, you know what, I'm gonna get some Chinese friends.
Oh yeah.
Did he tell you about that? How did that go?
First lecture I went to, oh well, as you know, I'm Chinese, and my Chinese isn't very good. Well, Cantonese. I meant to speak Cantonese, but
Your mum speaks Cantonese.
Went to my first lecture. I was like, must I finally meet some international students I can speak, practice my Chinese to with on a regular basis. Went up to one or two, and I was like, oh, hi, what are you doing? Like this, where are you from? And then they're like, oh, do you speak Mandarin? I was like, no, I speak Cantonese, but I'm really shit. And they just stop speaking to me, and I just walk away. I'm like, what the fuck? And I was like, all right.
You're not one of us.
That's a bit
He's
weird.
too whitewashed.
I went up to another one.
Born and raised in England.
Yeah.
I went up to another one. I was like, maybe that's just one guy. It's like just random. Oh yeah, like oh, do you speak Mandarin? I was like, nah, I speak Cantonese, but not very well. I'm trying to get better. And they're like, oh. And then just conversation just cuts off. They stop speaking to me. They go speak to someone else. Oh fuck! I'm like, oh. You know what? I'm just gonna find who's the most London South England British looking geezers about, and that's when I stumbled upon Zach and Harry.
Went from Chinese to the two whitest people.
I'll never look back.
Right, and I met Scott. I've known Scott since I moved to the country. In school, couldn't even speak English. Knew this guy. He was actually a rat in school. he was a bit of a dickhead, but love the guy. At the time, though, sixth form is kind of like when I
Wait, how old were you?
well, I moved to the country at 12, so like year 7. Couldn't speak English for 2 years. Absolutely nothing. I just sat in class like, yeah. And then I'd say sixth form is when I always knew Scott, obviously, but like we weren't like close friends. We would have like a few classes like maths. But then in sixth form, our sixth form was tiny. Like in our school, by the time it got to sixth form, first year of sixth form, most people had hope and were like, we're going to do A-levels. By the second year of sixth form, loads of people dropped out because they couldn't be asked to study. So there was like 20 people left in my sixth form. What? And it started off with like, I think
20?
40. Yeah.
Wait, it started
Your sixth form
40.
was 40 people.
Yeah, it was well, my year specifically was just tiny because everyone was just like, actually, you know what? Can't be
How many
asked.
people were in your school before sixth form?
Loads. That was
What?
because there was like we had
Crazy.
in our school we had forms, so we had like was it forms?
Yeah,
No,
we
houses,
had-
like six
oh.
houses. 6 houses, and obviously like each house in a year would have like 30 children.
Yeah.
So
Wait, but so in your whole year
So
you
the
had
end of
5
Jesus-
houses, but you had 20 people.
6
6 houses.
6 houses, but they're only like by by the end of sixth form, I think there was only like 20 of us.
Wait, so the end of GCSE, you went from like 162 students, 160 students to like 40.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wait, everyone just dropped out.
So different to my school. Everyone from my
Everyone just
school
dropped out.
Well, they didn't drop out. They just decided not to do A levels.
Oh.
Because my school was always like GCSEs and A levels. Well, we had class teachers, by the way. One of our teachers was literally like this like person from Cambridge for maths, and like teaching at our school was just like essentially like a side thing.
Yeah.
Because she like used to live in the area and stuff. Anyway, and then like in school, me and Scott were in like the same group, and then I think not really a falling out, but like Scott kind of just went to uni, left the group. Understandably, things happen. We're not going to go into it.
No. I want to hear it.
No, one day we'll bring him on, you know?
No, I want to hear
One
it.
day you'll bring
I
him
don't
on.
think I know the full story.
No, but
still.
I don't know the full story because my brain is like a sieve.
That's for another episode.
So, disappears. We all go to uni, and then like don't see him for a year, don't talk to him for a year. Absolutely nothing, by the way. No contact. All of a sudden, towards like end of first year, he's like,
No, it was Easter.
was it Easter?
He went home for Easter.
Oh, okay. Yes. There you go. That's my thing. Scott went home for Easter. We all met up, linked back up, and then he invited us down to London for a rave. And that's
Lightbox Jungle Splash.
Lightbox Jungle Splash. This guy was on a promo video every single month. Free, by the way, every time. Free. It was free.
Event.
Back in the day, things were just free.
Back in the day, events in London were
It was
free.
class.
So good.
And then turns out Scott reinvented himself, by the way. Class.
We did have a bowl cut.
He did have a bowl cut. He reinvented himself. And then he invites us back to a rave. Turns out me and Scott fucking like this. It's like long lost brothers. It was never like that before, by the way. Absolutely never. All of a sudden, I meet these guys. And then like pretty much after the first night, at the start of the night, they're just like, who is this guy? What is that? By the end of it, it's like, fuck, come here, Patrik, I'm buying shots. I bought 20, come here. And then all of a sudden, me and Scott are just like, Patrik, you need to come and stay here for a week. By the way, Max Rain, these are like single bed rooms, like singular rooms. And I came then later in the summer, came to stay for a whole week in this single room where he had a single bed and we set up a camping bed next to him. Like Scott cannot be in the same room for that long with one person. And I was just there. And we were just getting devious for a whole summer. And that's when I got closer to Benedict.
Yeah.
Well, I got to know, but actually, I'm not even sure if you were there the whole time. No, you weren't even there yet. What happened after that? I guess we went
to in the summer. We just went to a bunch of house parties in Welling Garden City.
Yeah, all of a sudden the London boys were just traveling up to North to like come to house parties
City during the summer.
And then I think I held a house party, but my house was class back in the day because my dad just built shit around the house. Mm-hmm. Like we would just have like in the living room like this, there would just be a bed built like above the sofa, but like a full-on double bed. And like an aquarium, like there's just dogs and all sorts. I think Benedict was arriving early, and then he used to be like extra anxious. You lost it now, kind of.
Definitely.
Well,
he hides it quite well.
He masks it, and then he's there stressing on the train like, "Fuck, I'm gonna be alone with Patrik. Oh my god."
What are we going to talk about?
What are we going to talk about? It's
like preparing for a first date. I'm like, right, I need some talking points just in case I run out of things to say. Like,
and then all of a sudden, turns out, non-stop yapping, of course. And by the end, he's like, oh, shit,
I need to take my train.
I can't go home. I can't go home. And I think the rest is history. And I think pretty much, well, I guess we live together now, so that says a lot, really. Like, I've known each other for 5-6 years. Feels like a whole life. Not quite like Yakub, who we met, known for 2 weeks, and we're like, I've known this guy for years. Where have you been? What have you been up to? And that's pretty much how we met. What happened to you in that time? Were you? Because you went
What
to,
year was that?
I guess that was uni, but you,
20.
17. No, we met in 2018.
we met in, was it 2018?
Well, I came to the UK in 2015, and I was a little girl. I was
Just a girl.
I was like 13. Went to boarding school for 5 years.
Classic.
And then went to uni when I was like in 2020.
We were nearly.
That was COVID.
I was in my last year of uni.
So in 2018, I was in GCSEs.
Sixth form.
Ooh.
Well, if I graduated 2020, finished
No, she'd be doing her
second,
GCSEs.
yeah, GCSEs 2018.
How old are you?
I'm 25.
How old are you?
22.
That's perfect.
You're not
perfect,
nothing, huh?
perfect age split. What do you mean?
Well, okay, so yeah, GCSEs. Honestly, school is kind of a blur. There's so many things that happen.
Well, I'm born in school.
Yeah, so crazy.
What's the craziest thing that happened in boarding school?
Craziest thing. Just like, oh,
Was it a girls only boarding school?
no, it's mixed.
Mixed.
Can't really say.
Can't really say.
Hey,
Might get in some
you
trouble.
don't need to
But
say
like,
names.
few people got expelled. That's normal.
That's normal.
That's
in this
pretty
country. In
normal.
this country.
Just like, I just went to a school with a bunch of racist people, and it's just like,
UK core. UK core.
like there was like a few people who were really, really awful and racist and sexist.
Surely there were like loads of other international students at
Yeah,
boarding school. Though.
but like,
Oh, they were just. Oh, okay.
but like the same thing as like Chinese people that you talk to in
Yeah.
UCL.
Yeah.
Same thing in boarding school.
Yeah.
Like I would try to make friends. Like I think for the whole GCSE time, there was no Chinese girl, or except me. I don't really remember, but I think I was the only one. And then people joined in sixth form, and then I tried to make friends with them, and it was super difficult. And I ended up becoming friends with people who are like international but Chinese. So like more like me.
Well, I guess.
Like went to international
I guess when you're just
school.
getting racism, that's kind of what happens, isn't it? Because you're just like, why would you want to be like friends with? Yeah.
No, well, yeah. One of my best friends in boarding school is white. Oh, crazy.
Whoa, controversial.
Whoa. I'm actually seeing her tomorrow. Lol. I haven't seen her in like 3 years.
Where was your boarding school? Was it like in the middle of nowhere, UK?
Yeah, Midlands.
Oh, that explains it all.
What do you mean?
The racism.
Oh yeah.
That's the
Very
higher up you go.
conservative school, and yeah, and then sixth form happened, applied for uni, and then oh. Well, so when we were doing our A levels, it was like during COVID, and so we didn't actually take our A levels. So we were that year that had the whole like
Just no exams.
no exams, but like
they
we
gave you
were
predicted
yeah, it
grades or
gave us,
something.
but it wasn't even predicted grades. And then they had this like U-turn, like they basically changed all the grades. The exam board had taken all the grades, changed the grades, gave it to us, and then everyone complained, did a whole U-turn, so went back to the original grades that the teachers gave us. But for our school, it wasn't even the grades that our teachers gave us. It was the grade that our teachers gave to our headmaster, and then our headmaster did something with the grades and then gave it to exam board. Like it made no sense because
Well, I remember reading about it. Where they were just like, throw it in a box, shuffle it up, throw it
Yeah.
back out. It's like uni, to be fair.
and so I nearly didn't get into university. But then I got into
For London uni?
well, didn't get into the ones I chose.
What did you have to go for?
Because you can only pick 2 universities.
We
Like
picked-
you pick 5,
Oh, and then you
but
pick
at the
one,
end you
and
can
pick
only
one
pick
backup.
2.
I thought we picked like 2 backups though.
No, you pick
No?
one backup.
One backup. And so I nearly didn't get into both my choices. And then I got into KCL. So, yeah. In London. And then, yeah. And then I graduated uni 1 year ago.
Well, I've been working for the past 3 years. Oh God.
Yeah.
What was your accent when you came here? What?
Like the same
I'll
as
just-
now, I think. Maybe a bit
Surely-
more American.
Surely not.
Like a bit more American. But I am still quite pretty American. In boarding school, my accent was very British. Like Midlands British.
Midlands British.
Yeah.
I don't know what Midlands sounds like.
One day, you'll hear.
You'll get an example.
Yeah. And then it toned down a bit when I went to uni because all my friends were international and not British. Well, I had a few British friends, but
Well, I guess you come to London and all of a sudden London's nice. London's nice and international
yeah.
in most places.
And it felt more like I made friends that I felt more connected to because we had more things to relate to each other with.
Well, at uni you can decide what you're gonna do, I guess, right? Yeah, you can just like
I guess at uni you pick your friends. You know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
in school you just get chucked in a class and you're like.
I kind of like it.
No, it was-
They just, bro. You just spawned in. You just
No, but it was nice, but also like, so we had houses and we had to live in our houses.
Mhm.
So we were forced to be friends with all, I was forced to be friends with 11 other girls that I don't talk to any of them anymore.
Like you just need
Maybe
to get
except
along.
like 2 people.
Living with people though, very different to
Yeah.
being friends with people. There's plenty of my friends. If I live with them, I'm sure they'll hate is a strong word, but
You know what? Us living together very smooth.
it's
I'd say. I'd say this has been the smoothest.
How
living
long has
together.
it been? Like 7 months?
Since January, so it's
Since
Oh,
January.
10 months.
coming up to
11.
Yeah, coming up to
Ooh.
Great time.
Nearly your anniversary.
Oh,
Oh.
anniversary dinner. Soleil.
And you should record it as well.
Oh God, the anniversary special. The
Yeah,
anniversary
it's so
special.
funny.
We'll do like a dating. Yeah, we'll have like a pack of cards in the middle where it's like
Oh yeah.
some dating app. We ask each other
Oh
questions.
God.
Oh.
Oh.
I'll make the cards. I'll make the questions.
You know what was never a fan of?
spicy.
You know that card game that we played where it's like really difficult questions to like break the ice, and it's like a card game and you just pull a question, and I'm just like, I never think those questions are that good, but that might just be because our friend group is just like extremely just open about absolutely everything, so it just doesn't feel deep. The questions, it's like, here's a deep question.
No, but it's also like for people who don't know each other.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. But
And like if you know each other, you know all those questions.
Let's
you know?
get Sarah to make the question.
let's. True. So,
Like
so
what?
can have a,
Ultimate quiz master.
we can have a Q&A session.
Wait.
In the-
We didn't even talk about how I met you guys.
Oh,
All right then.
All right,
All right
then.
then.
Fine, we won't talk about it.
All right. How did you meet us? Well, we know how you met us, but
Actually, you know what? No.
You know what? No. Let's talk about your experience on Hinge before you met us, because you
On
said
Hinge.
you met us through Hinge, through meeting this guy.
us.
Well, yeah.
Me.
Yeah, well, you.
No, well,
Potato, potato.
Hinge,
We're all in here now.
Hinge. Well, Hinge is like pretty demoralizing. So you go on it, and then you like swipe a bit, and then you see all these people, and you don't really care about these people because they're just faces. And then you get these messages, and then you kind of just get bored because no one ever asks to meet up. People only, or people
Well, people just don't. People are
people don't either like straight away ask to meet up, like no, don't even talk, like don't even text or anything, or they'll ask to meet up, or I don't know, like sometimes you're just busy and you just can't really meet up with some random person.
Yeah.
And so, like, sometimes you just give up, you delete the app, and you're like, fuck the app. And then you just get on with your life. And then one day, your friend comes and talks about their experience on the app, and you're like, oh, I want to download it again. So that's the whole Hinge experience.
But then which one would you rather? Would you rather someone message you and want to meet up pretty much straight away? Or just...
I'd want to talk a bit more before I meet up. Because how do I...
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to just meet up with someone I don't know anything about.
Yeah, I suppose, but... You know
and,
what,
like, it's also kind of scary. Like, you're meeting up with a stranger. Like, they could kill you.
I guess it's a very different experience as a man.
Yeah.
That's... I've obviously... I have never thought...
No, but also,
oh, yeah, this
like,
person's gonna murder me.
Going on a date with a complete stranger when you're an introvert is so fucking difficult. It's like you have to... It's like the same thing. You have to pre-plan the questions.
It's just like you, for real.
You have to...
I'm excited.
Like, you have to, like, haha, like, laugh at their really unfunny jokes.
My life's unraveling. It's all a lie. It's all made up. What do you mean I'm not funny?
And then, like, in your head, you're just, like, you just have to be really judgy because you have to judge someone by their first impression, and you just have to be a dick about it. And sometimes some people, like, walk weird, or they, like, do something. Like, sometimes there's just something that is, like, weird. And
what gives you the ick? Happiness?
No, but it's true. So many things... There's so many things that can give you the ick, and if they show up on the first date, you're like, oh.
I guess it's when a random person is a lot easier to find an ick as well.
Exactly.
You're just like, okay, I don't know you like that at the moment.
And especially when they're really, really flirty on the first date, and then you're like really icked out. It's so bad.
I guess there's levels to
find...
Could that also be because you're an introvert?
Yeah, it could be. But also, like, I'm so awkward. I don't know how to...
You want them to be slightly
I don't know how to get out of a date. Like, it's really hard.
It's like, we went to 3 venues now. I just want to go home.
Like, it's like 11 o'clock and you're like, I want to go home. Oh, I have work tomorrow. I'm going to go home. Like, you just have to do that.
Would you say you're a people pleaser?
No. I'm really not.
Oh, you're just too awkward to leave.
I'm just too awkward. Like, I don't know how to bring it up to leave. Yeah. Sometimes I just say, oh, someone's waiting for me at home. Like, my friend or whatever. And they're, oh, okay.
Oh, sorry, I got another guy to meet.
Yeah. And then I went on a date with him. I was like, oh, this guy didn't give me the ick.
And he was just as awkward.
Yeah, and he was awkward. And I was like, ooh, I like awkward because I'm awkward. And then...
Was I that awkward?
You were quite awkward.
Oh.
And then we vibed, and then it was nice, and then...
in his head, it was like that. It was perfect. This is it.
No, you were...
Ring.
There were a few silences.
Silence is nice.
On the first date.
Sometimes I go non-verbal.
Yeah?
sometimes you go
well, then after
well,
the
we're
date...
walking around an exhibition, you know?
No, true, but it was good that we did stuff. Yeah. Like, you know, sometimes you just go for a drink and, like, it's a bit awkward. You just have to chat the whole time. But, like, we had stuff to talk about.
I guess that's why you drink alcohol, so you can talk.
Yeah, no, it doesn't help the awkwardness, especially on a date. And then I actually went on 2 other dates after.
Straight after? On the day?
No, like same week. Because I hadn't been on a date for 2 years.
But that's fair. I think you went.
No.
Or was it just before?
I went on one before.
Oh, but it was before.
I hadn't been on a date for 2 years. And then I was like, oh, maybe I'm just like, you know, like haven't had any type of, didn't go on dates, wasn't in a relationship. So maybe that's why I really like him. And then I went on some other dates, and those other dates were not good. So I was like, oh, okay. I mean, they weren't not good. They were just like...
Just medium.
Just like, oh, like they're nice, but I don't feel anything. I was like, oh, okay, I'll give this guy a chance.
One chance. You get one chance.
Did you see the message she sent me?
No.
She was like, let's go on another date. I want to take you to this.
You were cooked.
No. She was
like, I'll get the next. I'll take you to this nice
I was like,
French.
I was like, I
French
know
coffee
this.
shop.
I know this French cafe that everyone's talking about. Let's go. And then he's like, oh yeah, sure, down. And I took a photo of Pratt.
No, you didn't.
And I was like, I'm pretty sure I was drunk when I received that message. I was like, hang on a minute. So I was like, yeah, let's go. I was like, what the fuck?
But that joke is not mine.
Oh, well, okay. Now
It was really
You
funny
could've-
though. It came from my friend group, so it's basically mine.
it was very funny, but now you
Well,
you could have had that.
I could have not did it.
True.
All right, true.
But it was my friend Sam, and he was like, "Oh my god, you should do this." I was like, "Okay."
The whole group is like, "What do I write? What do I write? What do I write?"
The whole group was like, yeah, you should totally do that.
And turns out you two are just somehow on the internet and managed to find someone that's exactly like you, both rats. both little rats with the same mannerisms.
What do you
I love
mean?
it. I love it.
We're different.
Same.
Well, that's why I was like, oh, let's talk about the invisible string theory, not the physics thing. I don't know what it is.
What do you mean? I was really looking forward to
I
it.
just finished my Stephen Hawking book.
I did so much revising.
I was gagging to talk about string
No,
theory.
it's like how there's so many coincidences.
Coincidence.
In like your past life and like throughout your life, and then like you meet at the right time, and it's like, how are you meant to meet, or is this? But I feel like it's not a very good topic to talk with you guys because you guys are too like reasoning focused.
Benedict, we are too reasonable.
We're both debaters.
No, but do you think like there's like an invisible string that everyone's tied to, and like that you're bound to meet somebody?
No.
No.
Okay, that's it for our episode. Bye.
I'm glad we got it written down as a topic, but I just do not believe in any of that.
No, because sometimes it's like I've seen how like some people, they went to like kindergarten together, and then like they don't see each other for ages, and like they don't even know each other in kindergarten. Like they're babies, they don't know each other, but they see in photos they're in the same photo when they were younger, and then they're like dating when they're 20.
Oh.
Like
But
how,
I think there's just I think a lot of that is just coincidences.
but that happens so often.
Yeah, but the thing is, when a coincidence happens, they will post it on the internet, and it makes you seem like it happens a lot. So you've got this confirmation bias because you only see the stories where it does happen. So you're like, oh, it must happen a lot. But in actuality, well, you don't see the stories where that doesn't happen. No one posts about it.
Well, it's just the same way, like on the internet, you normally see success stories on the internet. It's very rare that you just see someone's like failed business on the internet.
Yeah.
Like, look, guys, had a business, lost it all.
Yeah.
But
It's like-
I'm going again.
Yeah.
like also like some of these coincidences, is like what you mentioned is like, oh, you might be in the same pictures in kindergarten. Like the world is actually quite small. Like people don't necessarily move around as much. Like if you're like in the same area, or like your parents knew each other.
Especially when we were, like, even in UK, when in university, you'll meet so many people randomly, and they're like, oh, I go to this university. It's like, do you know one of my mates who goes to this university? It's like, yeah.
Oh yeah, that does happen.
That happens
a lot.
quite often. So it's like,
I think it's also especially a bit of a UK thing because the country is so spread out.
Yeah.
Well, so small and spread out in a way of like we have a lot of universities, and people tend to go fairly far for universities a lot.
Yeah. No, but I think it's also like when you tend to go to the similar universities to people you went to school with. And so if you're in the same university as like some other person, they probably went to school with like some other person that went to the same university as one of your friends.
Yeah, it's just one. I think in the UK you just have so many options, and that, like you so often move in the UK because you will like for uni, you move out for uni, and then you might go back home, but then you get a job, you move out again, and then like because everyone does that, there's like such a big mixture of like I regularly just see people like all over the country on the street like that went to Loughborough University because they just like got like a Loughborough logo somewhere on. But I might not know them, but like we still went to the same uni type of thing. And I think that's very similar with all the unis in the UK, no?
Yeah.
All the merch.
Yeah,
well,
true.
which
But I do think like when guys when they start dating, they start dressing better and
I think a lot
like-
of guys probably do.
like doing skincare.
Oh, I've been doing skincare for
No, but
Don't talk to him about skincare.
no, but like a lot of guys only start doing skincare once they start dating.
not me.
All right. Slay.
But it's true. It's true.
Well, I guess it depends on how you grew up because you had like acne as a kid, so you got self-conscious and started doing skincare.
Acne. Well, I worked in fish and chips.
The fish and chips.
So when you're working in a kitchen all the time, you have oil.
Well, that's for another episode.
I had hella acne when I was going through puberty.
I had loads. Luckily, it disappeared.
I didn't have that much, and then I started working in a chip shop, and then I got loads.
Yeah,
and
the oil will do that.
Yeah, and then I was working in a kitchen, and I was like, yeah.
As a kid, I was really conscious of it because I had bad acne as a teenager, which luckily my face cleared up. Still get it on my back.
Yeah.
But like to be fair, it's mostly like after gym and like when you like got clothes on top of it, so you can't breathe. But I even went to like a dermatologist with it. Dermatologist. And then they were just like, look, we can give you medicine, or you can just come back when you're 25 if it's still like that. And it might just clear up. So there you go. But I believe in skincare, but I don't believe in over the top skincare.
I love over the top skincare.
I just don't think you need that many products.
I love products.
No,
you
you keep it quite clean. You keep it
don't
serums,
need a lot
face
of
wash.
products, but you need to change. Like sometimes it depends on your skin concern. You have to change the product.
Valid. I firmly believe though that diet can fix.
Yeah, for sure.
It can fix loads, but like for example, when you reach 60, 50, 60, and you don't use skincare, and you do use skincare, the difference is so drastic.
Yeah.
Like if you don't use skincare, if you show me a picture of someone who does and doesn't use skincare and they're 60, it's so obvious.
No, but the main thing is sunscreen.
Yeah.
Sunscreen.
Yeah.
Sunscreen is the main thing.
Yeah.
And retinol.
Yeah.
But you can't overuse retinol or else you'll ruin your skin barrier.
What's retinol?
Just
how do we go from what were we talking about? We end up on skincare. We did a little
that's our skincare
skirt to a different topic.
No, but I love a good skincare. Like I really want this Medicube like light thing.
The red light thing.
Yeah.
The red light mask.
No, it's not. My mom has a red light mask, but it's like this machine that it helps like absorb your products. So instead of evaporating, your face like absorbs. Anyways, I want it for my birthday.
But I just don't think. I just don't. Oh god, okay.
No, it's fine. I already asked Nat if she could get.
I just don't think a lot of those like additional like products will do that much on top of like all the other thing that you already do.
Well, I think from my experience, I wish I had known more about skincare when I was going through puberty and I wish I had all the products I have now, because back then I didn't know what to use. Like I would just use something that would dry out my acne and it would look really bad, and then I would use like foundation to cover it all up, and then
the classical like let's just cover it up instead kind of.
Well, like, and also like do like skincare as well. But like now I feel like I know what my skin needs. I know which products are good for my skin.
But do you reckon it's also just because you got older, it just stabilized? Because when you're like,
No, because
nah.
my skin was really bad even when I was like in my 20s, like
oh, okay,
early, like
for-
20.
If I don't like wash my face, or like if I go out and like it feels really dirty, I will just feel acne.
Yeah.
Like I do just get flare ups.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been having flare ups until I've had consistent flare ups until about a year ago. And
But
that's because I
also-
started adding more
Also,
products.
like hormones, like when I realized with my skincare, even with my hormones, my acne isn't as bad as without my skincare. Because I need that hydration and I need the like deep cleanse of my pores.
that deep,
Deep
cleanse,
cleanse.
Yeah.
deep in the pores.
And also sometimes you're using a toner pad and you like swipe and like the toner pad is yellow, even after you wash your face.
Never
Double
used a toner pad.
cleanse. Even after you double cleanse. And it's because it's all the dead skin cells on your skin. Anyways, next topic.
We're always very busy. You know what we're always busy with? Birthdays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Birthdays.
Birthdays.
I had a birthday yesterday. There's a birthday coming up.
I did
Next
tell you.
week.
I remember when
And
when
then
we
there's
first started.
another one, and then there's another one, and then there's a free weekend.
I remember when we first started messaging. I was telling you about.
The amount of
I don't
birthdays.
have any free weekends because there's so many birthdays.
You actually-
Yeah.
You actually just have to be like, I'm not going to your birthday. Sorry, if it's like, unless it's like something like they do something crazy special for it, or I haven't seen them in a long time.
Or I'll just plan something and be like, I've already got something planned.
I like Jade's birthday.
Valid.
Yeah, like
Valid.
James' birthday.
Oh, Jay's birthday,
Oops.
because she did it on that was so funny because she people need to stop making it on Facebook because no one uses Facebook anymore.
Yeah.
I got notifications like off. The only reason why I got Facebook downloaded is Facebook Marketplace every now and again. And I was literally out for one of my friends' birthday I haven't seen since uni.
Mhm.
I was like, oh shit, it's Jay's birthday. I was like, surely she would have planned something. There's no way Jay didn't. I'm like, searching around, there's no WhatsApp group. Yeah.
But did you not go?
I did go in the end because I was in the area because I saw in our WhatsApp group chat, I just saw Sam Brown just talking about Sam Brown was just like, so what time is everyone meeting for Jay's? I was like, oh. Anyway, birthdays. I think to be honest, end it here. That was a good at least half an hour minimum.
Yeah. Well, how are we gonna end it?
We've never done a podcast, so let's just cut.
Bye.
Bye.
See you guys next time if we do one. If we have time to do another one.
I think we should.
Should we just? Okay, next episode.